Welcome to Realty Success Hub, your show for all things real estate. We're super excited today. We've got some really fun guests. I want to run around the room right quick and get a quick introduction from them. And Brandon, maybe we could start with the great Brandon Barnum. If you could go ahead, please.
Happy to. My name is Brandon Barnum, CEO of HOA.com, author of the book Raving Referrals, and love helping realtors and other professionals grow your business by referrals.
Brandon, thank you so much. We've got a couple of other offers on with us today. Author Brooke Bryan, could you say hi to us?
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. And I'm so happy to be here. My name is Brooke Bryant. I'm a realtor in and around the Charlotte, North Carolina area. As Aaron mentioned, I'm also an author. I wrote a book called The Ultimate Guide for First-Time Home Buyers. Love working with first-time home buyers as well as so many different aspects of real estate. So I'm super excited today to learn from all of you great folks here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much, Brooke. And Angela Brown.
Hey guys, thank you so much. I'm Angela Brown, and I run a company called Savvy Cleaner, and we train house cleaners and maids all across the globe. And it's a super important concept for people that are in real estate because you have to have move-in and move-out cleaning. I am the author of the book, The Ultimate Guide to Move-In, Move-Out Cleaning, and this book is designed for homeowners. So this is a book where you can go through all the checklists and you can get your home ready so that when you call that realtor, you are rocking and ready to go.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We also have Regina Brown here, who is a specialist in the luxury market. Regina, do you want to say hi?
Yes, I do. Regina Brown. I am based here in San Antonio, Texas. As Aaron mentioned, my expertise is in the luxury market. So anyone looking to buy or sell in San Antonio, I would love to help you out. So thank you for having me on today.
Well, we have a really fun show today. We've got a bunch of questions for Brandon today. And I know that both Brooke, Angela, and Regina all wanted to ask Brandon some questions. And so, Brandon, if we can, would love to jump right in with you and hear a little bit about you, your business, and, entrepreneurship. So.
You bet. Well, I got started in sort of the real estate industry back in 1997. I was a single dad. I just got in custody of my son, and I was only making about $20,000 a year. And I couldn't afford my mortgage payment, my daycare. So I had to make a change. I ended up getting into the mortgage business, which is where I had somebody that taught me the art and the science of raving referrals. And thank God they did, because I was able to 10x my income in 18 months from 20,000 to 200,000. I went on to do over 500 million in closings over the 12 years. And then ever since, I've been just focused on taking that education as far as I can and helping empower others with it. So HOA.com is my 10th technology platform that I built over the last 26 years. I started out building kind of an early version of Zillow back in 1997. And we're on a mission here to revolutionize HOAs, because 53% of homeowners in America live in an HOA, but most don't love their HOA. So we're going to completely revolutionize the industry. And that starts by connecting the community in a strategy that we teach to professionals called hyper-local social farming. It's really about connecting the professionals with the homeowners in a way that's meaningful so that neighbors get to know their neighbors.
Brandon, we run into homeowner associations all of the time. And you're right, people do not like homeowners associations. Something that we've actually done here is try to go out of our way to make friends with the homeowners associations and cultivate that relationship. And it's been a tough road. Maybe you could speak just a little bit about that and, how you started into that and how that's working.
Yeah, well, we didn't intend to get into the HOA business, to be quite frank. We started out as the homeowneralliance.com. That's where HOA started from. Our first business model was to actually generate referrals for realtors. And then we had a real estate brokerage and we earned a portion of that real estate commission. And we were generating about 1,800 buyer leads a month just here in the Phoenix market. What we found, though, is we were partnering with another brokerage. They were farming it out and having their agents work those deals. and they just weren't performing. They weren't following through. We would give them buyers that had looked at like 62 homes on our website that we could track. We could show the agents exactly which homes they were interested in, and yet they wouldn't pick up the phone. So we had to pivot the business, and we focused on creating a referral network of professionals who serve homeowners. Think BNI Power Team for the real estate industry. So that was the pivot that we made a few years ago. And then a little over 2 years ago, we were able to acquire the HOA.com domain. And that pivoted us once again to really focus on connecting the communities and making a big difference. To answer your question, what we're doing now is we have a community activation blueprint. So once somebody licenses one of our communities, what we do is we select a top trusted pro in each neighborhood, in each industry. So we select one realtor, for example, to be that real estate champion within that community. And then we have turnkey community impact events that they can partner with the HOA board or the homeowners in that neighborhood to do things like ice cream socials and barbecues and treasure hunts and all kinds of fun stuff that brings the neighbors together and helps the professional build solid relationship with those homeowners.
That is fascinating. Wow.
Yeah, that's great information. And technology, as you mentioned, is you've been in the technology game for a long time, and every day it's becoming more and more of a part of a real estate agent's life. So how do you pair those? How do you identify the realtors that you do want to partner with and get them working together in a cohesive way so that they can make the best use of your platform and you can identify the best people that you do want to work with?
Yeah, well, the beauty is that because we've been in the industry, number one, we've got some contacts, we've got some great companies that we're working with, but we're looking at ratings and reviews and who the community has already sort of identified. We look at production numbers to understand how much volume that realtors or mortgage lenders have closed this year to date and last year, so that we know that they've got the experience level that we're looking for. But to answer your question on the technology side, what we do to really engage the homeowners and empower our professionals with a way, we call it automated co-marketing. One thing that we found is most people haven't done a great job of creating what we call referral partnerships. And you guys are probably experts at this, but we found that 79% of the professionals that we surveyed have 2 or less referral partners. Now that's just outside of realtors, but that's everybody else. So one of the things we want to do is help them build those and create solid referral partnerships. Yeah, do you have a question?
I do. So for those of us that are not realtors and networking specific, what is a referral partner?
A referral partner is somebody that you build and formalize your relationship with, where you agree that you're going to cross refer, you're going to cross promote, and you're going to build your businesses together. You're a perfect example, right? You're in the house cleaning space, as I understand it, right? So you're out there, and every realtor should have you or one of your team members that they're in partnership with, because you both serve homeowners and yet you're in complementary industries. So the reason that I was so successful in the mortgage business is I had somebody teach me this 25 years ago. And so I went to top producing realtors, financial advisors, insurance agents, attorneys, painters, contractors, all of the people who were serving homeowners every day. Now I took the lead. So I would do first-time home buyer seminars, or I would do real estate investment seminars. I would advertise, I would fill the room, but I would have all of those other partners up on stage sharing what they did to build their credibility and expertise. And by adding value to them, they referred business to me.
Yay.
Well, it's so smart because Angela, I know one of your business philosophies is to surround yourself with smart people. Don't ever be the smartest person in the room. And in real estate and in so many other industries, but I know real estate, so important to have such a good team, mortgage professionals that you can count on, closing attorneys here in North Carolina. home inspectors. There's so many moving parts to a real estate transaction. And if you have those referral partners that you mentioned, Brandon, it just makes the transaction so much smoother and builds confidence in everybody on the team and through your clients.
It's hugely important. The reality is you're referring people to these professionals anyway, right? However, most people have never formalized those referral partnerships. In the referral partner blueprint, and you can go to hoa.com/blueprint and you can download the PDF version of this. But what we do is we teach you the scripts. We give you the list of the people that you should look at having on your team. But it's all about your team, right? So every one of our professionals on our network has a different team of people they trust. We just formalize the process and then we automate the co-marketing. And here's the key. A lot of people go to networking events. They go to BNI or Chambers of Commerce or LATIP, and they have some great meetings, but very little action comes out of those connections and conversations. What we do in the hoa.com platform is once you set up your profile about yourself, kind of like a LinkedIn profile or a mini website, the next thing you do is you invite your trusted team, the people that you want to build your business with, that you love hanging out with, that you're going to refer your clients to them and they're going to be taken care of with excellence. And then what happens is when they accept that link, next thing we have is what we call a home safe report. This is like HomeBot or My Home IQ, where it's an automated monthly home valuation report. But the beautiful thing is with ours, it not only features you, it also features all of your trusted team. So let's say you have 10 people that you've created referral partnerships with, and they're on our platform. Instead of you promoting just to your list, you're also promoting your referral partners, and they're promoting you to their homeowners. So we teach 1 + 1 = 11, where everybody wins together.
I like that.
I might steal that.
1 + 1 = 11.
I
That's
can't
good.
claim it, so I didn't create it. My mentor is Mark Victor Hansen of Chicken Soup for the Soul fame, and so that's where I learned that from.
It's brilliant. It sounds like you work with mostly top earners and top producers. How do you separate who you had mentioned reviews? Besides reviews, how do you kind of separate that, and who are those people?
Yeah, we certainly look to attract people that have the experience, expertise, and the excellence that we're looking for. So that's who we target. However, we have people that don't meet that top producer tier all the time, right? Because when a professional comes onto our platform and becomes a member in our referral network, they invite the people they know, like, and trust. And sometimes those people have only been in the business 2 or 3 years. We want to make sure if they're a realtor that they've done at least 20 transactions. That's kind of our minimum threshold that we want to see, because up to that point, they should probably be on a team and have somebody apprenticing and mentoring them.
Yeah.
But we're not only exclusively accepting top producers, but we definitely target them because they not only have the experience, they typically have a team that can help them as they go to support these communities.
And I guess obviously they usually have a network, so
They have a network. Yeah.
coming armed.
I'll tell you what, one of my previous platforms was called Trusted Team, and we were partnered with Prudential Home Services. This is Prudential Real Estate before they became Berkshire Hathaway. In fact, I was there at their national sales convention when they announced that they had been purchased. That was fascinating to watch, because all these Prudential agents, they had given us their database of 55,000 agents, and all of a sudden they had a choice to represent themselves as Prudential or as Berkshire Hathaway. But the point I wanted to make is I would always go to those events and I would ask realtors, what's your biggest challenge when it comes to referrals? Any guesses from you guys as to what you think they would answer?
Probably too general of an answer.
Too
People
general?
are asking too general of a question. Yeah, I find that when you ask really specific questions, people
Yeah.
can give you really specific referrals.
Yeah, and my question is probably too general. So that's a good point. Absolutely. And I'll share what they said, which is their number one pain point. And this was after like 3 years of going to these sales conventions, was that they gave out a ton of referrals and they didn't get many back.
Mm.
And so that was the challenge that they wanted to solve. And so what we said is, you need referral champions. You need people out there that are serving homeowners every day, that are scouting for opportunities for you. They're listening for some of the life events that cause people to sell their home, especially in this interest rate environment. So what are some of those life events? You guys know them, right?
Divorce.
Yeah, well, yes.
Divorce,
And
number one.
we found in the house cleaning industry, if we asked people the question, who do you know who needs their house cleaned? No one could answer the question.
That's
But
right.
if we said, we are servicing people that just got out of surgery, they'd go, oh my gosh, they're like, there's a guy down the street here, there's a guy across the road here. And the more specific and narrow we got on the question, that was the person that was able to then give us the specific referrals based on that specific, like we're looking for moms that are just about to have a new baby. And they're like, oh, there are 3 of them in the neighborhood, right? And
I
those
love
exact
this.
3 people. Yeah.
That's revolutionary. That's amazing.
So important. I hope everybody got that. It's one of the things that we teach in raving referrals, but you're spot on. The more specific that you can get, the more vivid that you point the picture for the people that you're talking to, right? Because if you just say, hey, who might be buying a house? You're going to get those blank stares back, right? But that's a great point and great examples too. So one of the things in this interest rate environment that you should be looking for is those life events. We heard divorce, big one, retirement, right? I'm an empty nester. My kids just went off to school. Aaron, I shared my daughter's at Texas A&M. I got a kid at Arizona State. And so now we're sitting here in this 4,600 square foot house going, we don't need all this anymore. So people are in those life stages when they get married, when they have kids, they want to nest, especially the women. When they get older, they want to retire. Maybe they want a second home. Maybe it's time for investment properties. One of the best things that I recommend to realtors is to focus on investors. Why? Because they buy multiple properties. Instead of one client that buys a house every 5 years, you can have a client that buys 5 houses every 1 year. But yet people don't focus on that. The other thing is property management companies. One of the things that we're doing here at HOA.com is we haven't turned this on yet. It's set to go live by October 1st, but actually providing you with the contact information of the HOA board or the property management company that is managing that local community. And when you partner with them, what we have here, as we've been piloting this in Phoenix, is they start promoting the events that the agents are putting on. And that's pretty powerful when you have the community endorsing and recommending you as the top trusted agent.
Oh, that makes all the difference in the world. That is life-changing right there. Absolutely. And when you're prospecting to a neighborhood and the HOA has sent you out, it's a really different turn of events. People actually open the door and will talk to you. So
it's huge. It's all about elevating your expert authority. You guys have done it by being authors, right? Each of you is an author. And as a result of being an author, it changes the way that people look at you. And I love that you, 2 of you at least, have created consumer facing, maybe all of you, sorry, Aaron, consumer facing titles and books that you can give to your prospects and clients. And I want you to think about giving them to your referral partners. Think about you not just giving those out, but I always tell people, help people give the gift of you. Empower your partners with something like a book or a brochure. That's why we printed these little things, because they're easy for somebody to hand to somebody else. And now they're telling your story. They're telling other people how amazing you are. And that person gets to read about you, and then they're more likely to call you.
That's such a great tip. And I know we've touched on, this is a great opportunity for top producers to connect and refer and tell each other stories. This is a great opportunity and a great program to put in the tool set of people just starting in the industry. It's so hard in such a competitive industry to get in there. And what better way than to have people who are championing you and helping you get started and to promote you. So I think it's great to work with top producers, but also good opportunity for somebody who's young and hungry and new in the business.
And that's how they become a top producer is they build their network, they build a tribe and a community of people that know, like, and trust them and recommend them. And part of it is you really need to train people to be on the lookout. And referrals all come because somebody wants to help. Like, really, that's why we give referrals. Most of your clients come to you saying, hey, I've got this challenge with my home. Who do you recommend? Right. And you give that referral not because you're trying to help that pro, but because you're trying to help that homeowner. Now, it helps the pro. That's great. That's a side benefit. But your number one motivation is to help that person that's got a challenge find the solution that they're looking for. And when you become the solution that other people recommend, that's when you attract more raving referrals.
It's great advice.
We really, I want to dive deep into this HOA.com that you've created. We have such an affinity towards it because we've worked so hard over the years to get in good with the HOAs to try to help them as much as we could with events so that when we go out and prospect in the community and we hold open houses, that they will endorse us. And it's definitely been a two-way street. It has been difficult for us to cultivate those relationships. And with HOA boards changing and people coming in and out and different regulations, like, we are so excited to dive deep into this. I know that you were originally in the lending industry. Just briefly, how did you move from that into this? And then let's dive deep into this HOA.com that you've created.
Yeah, you bet. So when I first got in the business, I knew no one. I was in my 20s. I didn't have a network. And quite frankly, that first year or two was scary because I didn't know how I was going to feed my son, right, that I had custody of. But I just believed that and I was taught, I was being mentored, that by building strong relationships with people who were already serving homeowners and adding as much value as I could to them as possible, that would feed me business. So what I did, and this again, 1997, I created the Portland Online Homebuyers Guide. I lived in Portland, Oregon at the time, and I created, like I said, a kind of an early version of Zillow. I featured real estate listings. Back then, you couldn't find interior photos of a house online. Well, that's what we did. Now, truthfully, it took a long time to load because this is before Wi-Fi, so everyone was on dial-up. So you heard the crash as people were loading into their AOL, but it was great because we were adding value, and I was able to attract people that were looking to buy and sell, and then I referred them to my partner realtors. And the more that I gave, the more that was given to me. So that's one of the secrets of raving referrals is the more you give, the more you receive. Super important. Now, fast forward, I was in the mortgage business for 12 years and I had a love for technology. It's what had helped me succeed. I had created cybermortgages.com back then, which searched the web and searched 100 different banks to find the lowest interest rate and the lowest fees for that specific client scenario. So kind of an early version of Rocket Mortgage, right? And that was a great tool. But after the last sort of decline in 2008, I wanted to make a change. And quite frankly, I left the mortgage industry. My first venture was to create a personal development training company where we donated 40% of the gross revenue to charities. So that was my heart going, okay, I'm going to go change the world. And we did great and we donated millions and that was fun. And then I got pulled into by a mortgage lender that I was singing in church choir with. He said, I have this product called Divorce Shield. And he actually had essentially an ebook. And I looked at it and I went, all these people that are facing divorce need all this information. So I took that and we created an online platform for it to help people that were going through divorce get all the resources that they need, including being connected to local realtors, counselors, attorneys, financial planners, and mortgage lenders. And as we launched that organization, we had thousands of people that signed up to be our pros in the first month. But what we found out was they all told us we really want a solution for our referrals overall. So that's what led to the creation of Trusted Team. And then I merged Trusted Team with another software platform. And together we created refer.com, which we built to over 5 million members, including 250,000 realtors. And then we sold that in 2019. And then this was the next. So that's kind of the progression. Did that answer your question, Aaron?
Amazing evolution, and so serving the community in each one of those. It's absolutely brilliant. It's exciting. And so then this was the birth of HOA.com, I guess, came right after 2019. And
well, it did. And interesting story. So I had sold refer.com. I'm sitting on the sidelines going, okay, Lord, what do you have next? What is my next calling? What am I supposed to be doing? I had started working with somebody that had a local referral network here in Phoenix. And together I was really coaching him. And together we created the homeowneralliance.com, right? Which is now HOA.com. Now, we had hired a CEO. I was the chairman. I was overseeing the company, but we had a team that was building it. And I actually went, the only time I've taken a job and a salary from somebody else, I went and built an AI. This is back in 2019, before AI was hip and cool, but we created an AI tool around personality science. So we took a personality system and created an AI tool. So I became CEO of that company long enough to build the AI and the API. And then during that stint was when I acquired HOA.com, the domain. And that's when I stepped into the CEO role. So long story, yes. And I'll tell you what, I got to tell you about this personality system, because I tell people it's like a magic trick. So
please tell us. I was going to say, like,
us. We want to know.
We want the details right away.
Well, and the reason you want to know is because when I was CEO of Codebreaker Technologies, I did a research study, and we actually studied the impact of this personality system on real estate sales. Okay. And what we found was when you customize your conversations and your presentations on listing appointments, we increased on average the closing rate by 123%. So more than double your listings when you customize your conversations based on the personality of the person that you're talking to. Okay.
I want it. Sign me up.
I want the card. Hand them to me.
But let me walk you through them. So the system is called Bank Code, and bank is an acronym. The first one is blueprint. See if I can keep this on screen. The second one is action. The third is nurturing. Trying to get the blue out of there. And the fourth is knowledge. So there's basically 4 different primary personalities. Now, maybe you've done DISC or Myers-Briggs, and this works just the same way, but I've found that this is a system that everybody can understand. So I keep these cards with me. When I meet someone new, like at a networking event, I ask them, would you like to see a magic trick? What do you think they say to that?
Of course.
Of course, right? They're totally intrigued. And then I hand them the cards and I say, do me a favor, sort these cards in order of what's most like you to least like you. That will help me serve you better and save us both time. And what happens is it takes them about 60 seconds on average to look at the 4 cards, and then they sort them in the order of what's most like them. They hand them back to me. So usually they spent 1 minute doing that. And then I spend the next 2 minutes going, oh, I see you're high nurturing. So that means you love people. You're all about the community. You're probably involved in volunteering and charity, aren't you? Oh, yes, I am. How did you know? Because you just told me, right? They're all about integrity. If it's not good for people, they're not going to do it. Right. So as I'm describing who they are, and I go through whatever order they give me and just describe the personality that they've just told me they are, what happens is in that 3 minutes, because normally it's 1 minute for them to crack their code, 2 minutes for me to describe back who they are. And in 3 minutes time, that builds rapport faster than anything I've ever seen. Plus, now you know what's important to them. And now you know how they make buying decisions, right? If somebody's high nurturing, you're going to pat them on the shoulder, look them in the eye. They love eye contact. You're going to smile big. You might even give them a hug. If they're high knowledge, on the other hand, they want all the facts, the figures, the evidence, the data. You do not want to push this person or pressure them into making a fast decision. You will repel them and they will run away. Instead, what you do is you give them as much information as you possibly can, because even if they don't review it, they're going to respect you for doing your research. And that's going to attract you and lead you to the top of their tier when it's time to make a decision on who to hire to help them represent either their buy or their sell. Now, if they're blueprint, that means they love the systems, the structure, the process. They want to understand step by step exactly what's going to happen. And if that's not your natural personality type, you might be missing opportunities because you're not speaking their language, right? And then if they're high action, you want to net it out fast. Hey, we're going to help you sell this at a great price, and you're going to be able to sell fast so that you can move into that dream home. These people love attention. They wear the designer clothes. They drink Red Bull for breakfast. So when you understand each of the different bank codes, then you can really customize your conversations in a way that serves them most effectively, and it shortens your sales cycle dramatically.
How do we
Well, that's such I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that's a really good tool to have beyond just using for sales, but developing your relationships through referral partners too. And just any kind of business you do, being aware of what your strengths are, what your natural personality source is. It's about how to best approach things.
100%. Absolutely.
Sorry,
It's
Regina.
huge.
Yeah.
And it changes your relationships. Like I call it instant empathy. And it's not just your client relationships. It will change your marriage. It will change your relationships with your children, because when you see through their eyes instead of just your own, you have empathy. Like my daughter and I are opposite codes, and there was friction between us because I was speaking words that would repel her. I would say always and never. And she's a scientist. She's studying to become a neurosurgeon at Texas A&M. And so for her, if there was 1% room to criticize or to, differentiate or really, take the opposite position, she was going to do that 100% of the time. So I had to change the way I spoke to her. And when I did, we became closer than ever.
That's amazing. I love that. So how do we get this? And I don't want to wait till the end. I need to know now. How do I get your information?
Of course. Yeah. So go to knowyourcode.us, and you can take the bank code quiz. It'll take you all of 60 seconds, and you'll see the cards, you'll sort them in the order of what's most like you. And then when you put in your name and email, then you'll get a report about you. And then you can follow up with the team and they'll help you get cards. And if you want training, they can help you with that too.
Love that.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Super insightful, super fun. I guess that leads us right into the next thing, which is HOA.com and the company you created. And clearly you're using all of these tools as in the HOA.com business. So talk a bit about that.
So thank you, Aaron. There's so many things that I want to share with you about what we're doing, because again, I mentioned we're out to revolutionize HOAs. Like our vision, in fact, we were having this conversation yesterday because we're in the works with the largest property management franchise in the US about creating a property management subsidiary so that we actually help oversee and manage these communities if the homeowners aren't satisfied with their existing management team, right? And we've been talking about how do we really take this to the next level? How do we create a structure for HOAs where people in 5 years from now, they love their HOA? So one of the things that when I say I'm the CEO of HOA, I hear all the time is people just start complaining. I hear all the HOA horror stories, right? And people complain about the fees and the fines. So in our world, we're thinking, okay, what if we took away the fees and the fines? And if you look at what people are really fined for, late payment is one thing. We probably have to enforce that to make sure that people pay. However, having a weed in your yard or your trash can doesn't get picked up in time. From our perspective, we're like, what if we could just take care of that for the neighbors so that there wasn't an issue? What if we could just have a champion in the community that gets compensated for actually putting the trash can away so that it's not on the street and everybody's happy. So that's part of our vision, is re-engineering the way that communities are managed. Now, that's future state. That's a 2024 project. What we're doing right now is that we're helping professionals who serve homeowners connect with those homeowners in meaningful ways. We do that through our Home Safe report. You can go to homesafe.hoa.com and you can run a report of every home in America, see the valuation, see the professionals who are recommended. And we also include the events that are going on in your area. So you can see a list of what's happening in my community. Now, we're dramatically expanding this. We're in pre-launch right now. We'll be launching this nationwide in January. So we're about at 90 days away. When we really create the next version of our community page, it's going to have deals and discounts. It'll have all the trusted team, kind of the Angie's list of that community, except instead of Angie's list, it should be Aaron's list. You as the professional have your list of your trusted team, the people you know, like, and trust and recommend. The homeowners also will have their trusted team. Wouldn't it be amazing, like a Carfax for your home, if within your Home Safe record that you had everything about your home in one location, including all of the people that service your home, right? Not just your realtor, your mortgage lender, your insurance agent, your financial advisor, your painter, plumber, HVAC, roofing repair, landscaper, pool cleaner, all of the people that you use. And we think it would be cool if your neighbors could see who you use. So if they're going to hire a painter and they go, hey, I see you're using Pete's painting, tell me about Pete, right? And so that way, neighbors, it'll facilitate more conversations. People will be able to hire more confidently, knowing that they've got somebody who's already been vetted with a background check, and they can see the ratings or reviews, not of strangers, but of people they actually know, that they can ask and say, okay, so you worked with Aaron, you worked with Brooke, you worked with Regina, you worked with Angela, help me understand what your experience was like. So that's part of what we're building in. And then giving the professionals the tools to remarket themselves automatically to those homeowners every single month, because you guys are too busy serving new clients. You shouldn't have to be worried about your marketing. So we're doing a lot of that for our professionals.
Nice.
So a couple of takeaways I have from that is I like the social aspect of it. Can be really difficult for a lot of people when they're new to a neighborhood to make those connections. And that's one good way for that program to facilitate that. Also like that the professionals that your neighbors use, if you live in a neighborhood and they're continuing to get that business, there's accountability on their part. They're going to make sure that they do a good job for you. There's good follow through. There's good communication, because they know that they're going to just increase their business by staying in that neighborhood. It's self-perpetuating. So I love that. It's beneficial for the client and for the service provider.
Huge. So important.
It also sounds like a totally new evolution of something like Nextdoor. Just so much better in so many ways.
We're big fans of Nextdoor. We think Nextdoor is awesome in a lot of ways. And we set out to create Nextdoor meets Angie's List meets Zillow. What if you had the functionality of all three of those platforms in one place, and it's community centric? Like, it's really about the community that you live in, because you identify as being a homeowner, a neighbor in that community. And so, we do these events and I just love them. Like I recently got to go to one of our community barbecues. It was happening here in Chandler, Arizona, and a realtor and a mortgage lender had put this on. They had hired a 13-year-old that lived in the neighborhood to go out door knocking to every neighbor and give them a little flyer about the community barbecue with a QR code that went to their Facebook page that they had set up, right? And so who's going to resist a 13-year-old coming to the door going, hey, we're going to have an event to bring our community together. So on the day of the event, there were about 50 people there, and it was so cool, man. I was looking around, and the kids are playing basketball. The dads were playing cornhole. There was some other kids that were playing kickball. There was a kickball game, which was hilarious. And the best part is I was scanning the whole event. And at one point when I looked around, not one single person was on their cell phone.
Oh, love that.
Wow.
People were just listening to music, laughing, having fun, and getting to know their neighbors. And that's our vision for what America can and should look like.
I got a question for you. You talk about raving referrals and even wrote the book on it. If you were going to give a referral of a realtor or a lender or somebody, what is the best way to give a referral?
I always like to connect the two of them, right? So whether it is a group text, that's often the best way. Often what I find is doing a quick video to the homeowner. Hey, I just wanted to connect you. Aaron and Regina already know each other, but I want to introduce the two of you. Aaron, you're going to absolutely fall in love with Regina. She's amazing. She focuses on luxury properties, which I know you're looking for. And so you guys are going to really connect. And if you know a connection point, if there's something, a commonality, you guys both went to the same school, or something that you can share that's going to help them build rapport faster, that's the best way to do it.
I like the video idea. We do a lot of triangle texts, a lot of three-way texting, but I love the connection of the video. That makes it far more personal. I really like that.
Video is powerful, right? I mean, now everybody's used to using video on social and watching videos. You got to keep it short and punchy, right? I always say, be brief, be brilliant, be gone.
Brief, brilliant, gone. I
Love
love
that.
it.
That's awesome.
You're dropping a lot of little breadcrumbs. I love.
I'm note taking like crazy.
Me too.
Do you have a best video program that you use?
Ooh,
or do you just use your phone?
I don't. I just take them right on my iPhone. There we go. I literally just record it on the iPhone and I send it over as a text message one at a time. Now, there is a challenge to that, and it's cross-platform, right? So if you send an iPhone video to an Android user, it doesn't look great. It looks small, and vice versa. So that's the one challenge. A lot of realtors use BombBomb. That's one of the preferred platforms that we've used in the past. We, as corporate, right, our platform, we just send them out an HTML email. So we don't really send the MMS, is what it's technically called when you send a video message through text. So most of ours are a text message with a video thumbnail that they then click on, that goes to the YouTube video or the specific landing page with the video that we're sending them to. But that's corporately, not individually, personally.
Neat. Fantastic. So we've spent years trying to work with HOAs. And when HOAs actually market an event, we found instead of just talking to doorbells, people actually come to the door. It's a totally different environment. More people show up to the events. Really, really changes the whole outlook. The problem is how long it takes to get in with that particular HOA and that community, and then the years fostering that relationship. This platform seems like it would take care of that so easily and effortlessly, and also sounds like it would connect realtors kind of across the spectrum, where they could maybe co-collaborate on events and open houses. And we do a lot of co-collaboration with other realtors.
Nice.
We hold open houses every weekend somewhere in the city. And typically that's through other real estate brokerages and groups. And we're always trying to advertise to that HOA and get in. And we seem to be the only realtors here in the area that have any interest in working with an HOA. Everybody's like, oh no, we don't like HOAs, stay away, So talk to me a little bit about how specifically your platform works with the HOA and the realtors in such a way that it's co-collaborative,
Sure.
As opposed to just posting and saying, hey, here's my shingle, I'm part of the community.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what we're working on right now. In our data feed, we have all of the contact information from either the property management company or the HOA board members, depending on the state, the county, and what records are required to be disclosed or recorded with the county recorder's office. Then we have access to that publicly available data, and then we port it down and give it to you guys so that you can take action with it. one of the things that we're committed to doing, and this is what's in the works, I'll just tell you where we're going. Let me tell you what we're building in the fourth quarter of prior to the national launch, is a satisfaction survey within each community. So when a realtor licenses one of our communities, then we're going to do a satisfaction survey to every single homeowner in that neighborhood, asking them to rate their HOA. We're going to take the results of that report and we're going to present that and provide it to the board and the property management company so that they have a report card and say, like, guys, this is how people really feel about the service that you're providing. And if it's awesome, we want to partner with that HOA and that property management company. And if it's not, we want to help them improve in the areas that they're weak, right? In the areas where the community, the neighbors that they serve are saying, hey guys, this isn't excellent. So we want to up level the standard and increase the service level of the actual HOAs themselves. And that gives us a really good in to be able to have that conversation about what we call a better way to HOA.
So HOAs have a negative, they've got sort of a negative reputation because they're looked at more like a policing agency. Right. And so what you're recommending is to have them be more of an advocate for the community, right? That's
100%. Yeah. Absolutely. Well said. When you think about it, we want them to be, we are champions for homeowners, and we think the HOA should be champions for homeowners. You nailed it. Oftentimes the HOA is seen as the community cops, right? And so they create this adversarial relationship with the people that they're paid to serve. Who does that make sense to? We're like, there's got to be a better way. We're helping to create it. And part of it is through these community impact events. Like, we do some really fun stuff that we recommend. I mentioned, the treasure maps, bingo bunko nights, bowling nights. Imagine taking your communities and saying, hey, one night a month, we're going to go bowl, or we're going to go to Top Golf, for example, and invite the homeowners and see who shows up. A lot of the women like the wine and wisdom nights, and that's cool. But there's all kinds. We're passionately patriotic. So we do virtual salutes and events that are geared to partner with different charities, make impacts, clean up schools, just all kinds of things that we've identified. And here's one of the ones that I'm most excited about, is actually creating a kids safe zone within each neighborhood. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but over the last 2 years, 60% of teenage girls contemplated suicide. And that's just not acceptable. So
what's the percentage again?
60% of teenage girls over the last 2 years contemplated suicide. So there's a lot of people, a lot of kids that are being bullied, abused, and God forbid worse. We want to give them a vetted home. We're working with the creators of the Neighborhood Watch program back in the 80s. And our goal is to have a dedicated kids safe zone in every neighborhood where if something bad's happening to them, they know where to turn for help. So this is just how we think. We think, how could we re-engineer HOAs and communities to be like we're turning the hands of time back to the 50s, and you actually know your neighbors and you did life together? What would that be like? That's the future we want to create.
So I got a weird question, and it's kind of self-serving, but what does the homeowners association get out of promoting all the communities and cheerleading everybody and helping everybody out and inspiring them and all the things? What do they get in return?
Yeah, well, it's up to them. So we do have an affiliate program. We call it an ambassador program. So we share our membership revenue. Nobody's asked what it costs to be a pro on HOA.com. And I'll just tell you, it's super expensive. It's $357 a year.
That's it?
That's it. Yeah, I was just joking. It's less than a
business
day.
owner? Okay, fantastic.
And free to the homeowners always, right? Like, we don't charge homeowners. They are ordering services from the people that are paying us. We're a referral network. So we just charge a membership fee for you to be a part of our community. And that includes licensing one neighborhood where you're the exclusive in that community. If you want more, we have packages where people can license more. But one of the things that we do, and I'll get to your question, but I want to add one thing that just occurred to me I hadn't shared, is we offer a concierge service. to those homeowners, so that if somebody's moving in or out, that you as realtors have a free service to offer to the homeowners or the buyers, for example, and we take care of everything. It's co-branded for you. So it's your photo, your name, your phone number that's on the website they're going to click on. And then they have a dedicated concierge team member that's going to be available by phone, by text, by email, or by Zoom. And then we handle everything associated with their move. We will change their address, set up their utilities, water, internet, power, cable. If they need quotes on homeowners insurance, moving, storage, if they want a quote on solar, we will help them with everything related to their move. And you as the realtors get to give that as a free service as part of our membership. So we don't charge extra. That's part of the $357 per year.
Where have you been my whole life?
Building the predecessors, but now we're building this. So
This
you
is
found us at just
incredible.
the right time. But let me ask or answer the question that you asked about the HOAs. And I want to bring this into our ambassador program, because we share the revenue. So when somebody pays us $357, if that's one of your trusted team members that you've invited to work and build this platform and serve this community together, then we pay you 20% of whatever they pay us for as long as they pay us. Okay. And that means if you bring 5 people into HOA.com, your membership is totally free. We also pay 10% as a second level commission. Now, we're not MLM. I have been an executive in 2 network marketing companies. And what I learned was the power of incentivizing people for referrals. But we do not want to be a network marketing company, and 2-level affiliate programs, that's the cutoff, right? What that does is that allows somebody to go share HOA.com, and you can sign up for that for free, HOA.com/win. You can become one of our ambassadors. And then we pay 10% on the second level. Where that comes into play is some people are introducing us to national companies. Like, we've got a call next week with 2 CEOs. One has 4.5 million members. I can't say their name, but every one of you knows this company. And if they choose to partner with us, the person that brought them is going to earn, the company will earn 20% as they activate their members, but the person that brought that company to us is going to make 10%. And let's say we only get 1% of those homeowners, those 4.5 million homeowners that come over. That's a lot of revenue they're going to make for an introduction. Okay. So that we also apply that ambassador program to the HOAs. So if they want to have money in their general fund, then we pay that back to the community if they introduce professionals to us. And then they have more money that, quite frankly, goes to fund a lot of these events. So the realtors don't even have to pay for them. It's just funded by HOA.com in the community impact fund that we create as a result of this partnership.
Nice.
And also the other thing is, HOAs are great at the back end, right?
Mm-hmm.
What they do well is they manage legal, financial, and facilities.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what they do. Where they're not typically great is the front end, right? And think of a restaurant. You got the back end, the people that are cooking the food and washing the dishes and setting the tables. Then you got the front end, the servers, right? The bartenders, the people that engage, the hostesses, the people that actually engage in the relationships, the people who are high nurturing and high action. These are the people that are better at having relationships, right? They're more expressive, extroverted. And a lot of times the people that are doing the accounting and the facilities management are more introverted. And so oftentimes they should be in the back office. And what we bring is we create connection and celebration within that community.
That is so exciting. That is so exciting. I mean, us working as realtors with HOA on a weekly basis, this is just revolutionary. I can't.
Well, don't you guys think as realtors, and Angela, you in the cleaning business, that, you know, so much of it, you get involved with these people and then you're kind of out of their lives. This is a great way to kind of stay connected and nurture those relationships and then build upon that. I love that, and make a positive impact in, like you said, in a hyper local way.
That's right.
Quick question. When to promote ourselves and to associate with the homeowners associations, as a house cleaning company, what we would do is we would go to the homeowners associations of the neighborhoods that we worked in. And typically we would have a cleaning company that worked in a neighborhood, and we would bill ourselves as the premier cleaning company for that neighborhood. Then what we would do is we'd go to the homeowners associations, and I did this myself. I would put together, pretend for a second that this was a coffee mug, and it might say Charlotte, North Carolina on it because that's where I live. So we'd get like city mugs that had the name on them. We would fill them up with chocolates, and then we would put a little cellophane wrap with a bow on it. And we would show up at the homeowners association meetings, and we would go to the HOA person. We had no permission to do this. Right. We would say, I'm the door prize committee, and I have this little mug of chocolates that we're giving away to door prize. We had a little basket there, and people would put their business card in. And if they didn't have a card, they would write their name on a piece of paper with their phone number or their address or what have you. And then we would give them a card in exchange. So they give us something, we give them our cleaning card in exchange. And then what happened then is it came time for the door prize. So here I am with the door prize, and I'm sitting there quietly at the meeting, and the homeowner person, the board of directors, whomever, had to introduce me in order for me to get up to give away the prize. So they would say, hey, Angela, please tell us who you are and what you do. And I'd say, oh, thank you very much. I would get up and I would introduce myself. And then with this little fun door prize, I would pull a name out of the little basket, and somebody would win that door prize. But in exchange, I had given everyone a card, and I told them all, I'm not here to talk about my business, but I'm going to hang out in the parking lot for a few minutes after if you have any cleaning questions. I clean a lot of the houses in this neighborhood, and you may have a question about your house or the type of tile or whatever. So then I would hang out in the parking lot for 3 hours after the meeting had ended, and we picked up a lot of business that way. But we worked the homeowners associations as a way to not just give back, but we were there every single meeting with a door prize. Nice. And so everybody got to know us, and they all had our cards. And when it came time to talk about the cleaning, then of course there was a way to recommend them. So I'm a big fan of your referral program.
So smart.
And working with the homeowners association and not working against it.
Correct. Make him your adversary, make him your ally. How do you turn that in? I think what you just shared, Angela, that is a freaking brilliant process. I just took a note, and I just learned something from you. So I love it. We use a system called Mailbox Power, by the way. Mailbox Power will allow you to create that mug for that specific community one-off, which is really brilliant. Like, we do this with some of our key accounts. Think about creating, just like Angela just talked about, creating a mug, but actually having their logo on it, right? Like, we do golf balls with their logo on one side, and the other side says, I'm not lost, I'm hiding from Angela, right? And maybe it's got your full name and last name. So that's a brilliant idea. And what she just talked about is so powerful. And when you add in, Angela, you probably even had testimonials from some of those clients in that homeowner association, right?
We did, and we didn't share them at that time. What we did is we ended up creating a QR code with our face on a little ID card. And then we always wore that wherever we went. People could scan that, and it would take them directly to a page that we had set up that had our insurance, and it had if you had vaccinations, a vaccination card. If you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce, if you have training and certification, has all the goods right there. These are your credentials. And then at the bottom, it pulled in all the ratings and reviews from all of our customers. So when somebody scanned that card, then when you show up and they see you on the Ring doorbell, they're like, yes, this is the person that's supposed to come to my house to clean. But when you're walking through and you're doing a bid estimate, for example, if someone was unsure, like, oh, let me check and I'm not sure, whatever, they scan that code, everything they need to see is right there. They're trained, they're certified, here are their happy ratings and reviews. We don't need to go any further. It's all right here. And it was a guided conversation. And so we tried to make it easy. And I'm hearing you say the same thing. You made it easy for people to do business with you. And I think that's the code that cracks the, like you said, the know, like, and trust. If my neighbors know, like, and trust you, and then you've cracked the code and made it easy to do business with you, it's now easy for me to make a decision.
That's right, Angela. And imagine now you not only do that at the HOA board meetings, but you also do that at the community impact events, right? Now you've got access to all those homeowners. And guess what? The conversation feels a whole lot different, because sometimes these HOA board meetings aren't the most exciting, fun place to be. Whereas when you're having a community barbecue or a scavenger hunt, it's a lot of fun, right? And you're talking to the moms that are typically the decision makers. Let's just be real about that, right? And so when you can connect with them and really impact their lives and help them see how they're going to have a better life through the services that you provide, that's win-win-win all day long. Brilliant. I love that, Angela. Great. Thank you so much for sharing.
Just a quick note on that. Some of the community events that we have done, we've encouraged people in the neighborhood to also get involved. And so like we did a big run. Was it a booze run? Booze run. We did a booze run and we invited some mothers that knew face painting to stay after and do face painting with kids and all this kind of stuff. And they were super excited because not only did they get to bring their kids, they got to show some of their passions and things that they were excited about. And so I really see this platform integrating a community in a totally new way. These events, yes, a BBQ is fun, but how many other people in the community could come be part of that and bring something fun to that event?
So many, and you can have the face painting at the barbecue, right? Or include some of these ideas. I mean,
we've had people come in that love to play music, and they'll come entertain and be live music, and it's wonderful. People love showing off their talents to their neighbors.
Well, and working with the HOA, usually there's a community center, swimming pool, park, something like that. And the HOA has always been excited to have us do the event there, right there in the neighborhood, in the center of the community, and very supportive of that. Once we get in with the HOA, it's that getting in, you know. And I guess the other thing too, and maybe on your platform, you could separate this. Biggest complaint we hear through like Open Door and neighborhood events is everyone posting about their lost animals. They're like, "It's separated already." Everybody loves animals, but it does take up a lot of space in the feeds for any community. So
it does. It does. And right now, our platform is a one-way feed. We're not yet allowing homeowners to be able to post like a Nextdoor, only because nobody here's named Karen. There's a lot of complaining Karens out there. And that's what we hear as the sort of judgment against Nextdoor is they feel like there's a lot of negativity on the platform. We don't want to allow that. So what we want to do though, is we want to curate content from our experts, our members, our pros, because a lot of you guys are creating great content like podcasts like this, blog articles, books about how to better improve your home or your life. And so we want to take the content that you all are creating and put that in front of the homeowners that should be hiring you.
Oh, I love your platform so much more now.
Yeah. I do too. I'm so excited to do a deep dive and learn all the ways that we can implement this, because it's promoting people that you trust and believe in, but also coming from a place of contribution to those clients that we serve.
Absolutely.
It has been so much fun. I can't thank you enough for coming on and chatting with us and sharing about your platform. Could you tell us where we can find all of the things you talked about today?
Yeah, so good question, because we talked about a lot. I'd say if you go to brandonbarnum.com, you'll find the bank code quiz. There's a referral score quiz there as well that'll take you 1, maybe 2 minutes. It's got the top 10 referral best practices, and you'll rate yourself on how you score in each of those top 10. There's probably a few there that you're going to be surprised that you don't score as high as you'd like to. So you'll find that on brandonbarnum.com. You can book me for a podcast or an interview like this there as well. And then there's links to HOA.com. And if you go to HOA.com at the top right, you're going to see Become a Pro. That's where you click and go through the process, the application process to join our referral network and be featured in our local communities.
Fantastic.
A million thank yous, Brandon. Really, we're excited. We'll definitely jump on and check that out. So will our audiences. Brooke, where can we find you online?
Well, first of all, my pen's almost out of ink from all the great notes that I took today. Thank you for the great information. Again, I'm Brooke Bryant. I'm a realtor in and around the Charlotte, North Carolina area. And you can find my book, The Ultimate Guide for First-Time Home Buyers, on Amazon. And you can find me on all the social media platforms at Ask Brooke Bryant. Thanks for letting me be a part of this today. I loved it.
Thank you, Brooke. Angela, where can we find you online?
I'm on all the social medias at Ask Angela Brown. And thank you for having me here today. This was very informative.
We so appreciate you and your time. Regina, where can we find you online?
All the social medias at reginaberealty.com. Thank you for having me today. I really enjoyed being here and talking with all of you. I learned a lot.
We truly appreciate each of your time today. Thank you for being on the Realty Success Hub, and we look forward to definitely seeing you all again.